Hello, good evening. How is everyone? Just waiting for the link to load up. Right, just waiting for the comments. How is everybody? How are we doing? And just waiting on our guest to load into the studio, so hopefully will be along soon. And how's things going? What's your week been up to? Hello, David. Hello, Gaynor. Hello, Michelle. How is everything? Any ideas, topics, and subjects as well for Thursday's open mic session? If you want to give us any topics or subjects you want to cover there, then that's fine. That'll be fantastic. And if anyone's got any questions, you can fire away. Just waiting on our guest to load in and stuff like that. So they are based over in Canada, so there might be a bit of a delay on that. So we're just trying to catch up at the moment. So, right. So, any good news that's happened this week? Let us know. Topics, subjects. Again, just waiting on our guest to arrive. Oh. Again, things that keep popping up to me at the moment as well is the power of witchcraft. Just seems to be standing out very strong at the moment. I also had a spiritual presence that tried to, how can I explain it? Come in of a late hour of Tuesday hours, about 4 o'clock in the morning. So I had some dealings going on there. And I had to deal with that like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and that was very strong and a powerful energy to force away. And I had a spiritual team. My spiritual team jumped in and helped along the way as well on that. So that was very testing times on Tuesday. Hello, Jimmy, spiritual photographer. Nice one. Welcome along. How are you doing, David? Hello, Nikki. Just waiting for the guest to click on the link, and they might have a few technical problems over there in Canada as well. So welcome to the Intuitive Bee. It should be who we will hopefully be chatting live with in a bit. Barry, let's see what you're saying. Been doing a lot of meditation. Right, okay. Is Karen coming in, I think, now? Been doing a lot of meditation with crystal stones, which you love doing as well. Does any people out there have the crystals underneath the pillows at night? Do anybody go to bed with certain crystals under their pillows as well? Hello, Claire. How are you? Well, interesting topic and subject, that, Barry. Yeah, and thank you all for tuning in tonight as well. Gaynor, see what Gaynor's saying. I actually shrunk the words on the side of the comments last week, so that was a bit weird when everything just shrunk down on the comments. Gaynor, you'd like to know how you might be able to bring your dad's spirit close to me. I always say the best way if you want to work intuitively in and around your own home is basically ask your team to work with you, but I would do a 10 or 20 minute bounce and cleansing meditation to clear your mind for your day of what you've had, and then after that work with it and just open, really ask for the sign or a symbol or anything like that as well to work along. But you can you can and heighten the energies in and around when you're trying to link with a certain spirit, but you can do that and you can call them forwards as well. To me, it's always about a time and a place. So when the right time and the right place is, I do have a lot of people that contact me that struggle with people, family members that's lost. I did have a very distressed lady on Friday night, and she was distraught. She'd lost somebody within the week, and they were contacting me, and I was there to help comfort them. And I made a personal video to them as well to say, give it a bit of time, and we'll catch up later on at a later date as well. So sometimes, again, you've got to understand people's feelings and emotions can run high as well. So you've got to take that away from it. Sometimes it all depends on the timing of when they've passed and how long it's been from them to be over the other side on the veil. And it can take them a while to adjust to see how they can communicate as well. So they would have to be strong enough to work to come forward as well. Do you know what I mean? So they have time to adjust sometimes. Sometimes spirits can adjust quite quickly, or it can take them longer to do that as well. Right, so past before Christmas, so you missed them so much. Very cold, and sometimes some people feel hot or cold either side of them as well. In a whirlwind, right, occasions. Yeah, just ask, just say if it's a sign. Sometimes you can talk to a naked candle flame and ask for a family member specifically. If this is you in and around me at the present moment in time, go left for a yes, go right for a no, or vice versa. But you've got to work out which way is a yes or a no. So you've got to work out which way a flame will go as well for you. You can work with candles as well. Some people do that. Some people work with pendulums as well. So it's all about what works best for you as well, Gainer. So give it a go and see where we are. Alison, you must be sick of seeing the sight of your husband if you're calling me gorgeous. Good evening, Jennifer. How are you, my spiritual peeps? I have sent a link over to Bianca. I'm just waiting for it to come on live. Jennifer, if you can give it a nudge in that direction. Hello, Claire. Oh, some nice photos of tonight's moon as well. What is it, going into 3/4 the moon now? Is it 3/4 of the way through? Hello, George. And again, yeah, there's me mate George. Just sending you loads of love and white light and healing over to George, and a lot of uplifting spiritual energies to yourself and your good lady Cara as well. I will make sure that both of your names are in my spiritual healing box later on this evening. Actually, no, I did it last night, actually. So I will make sure that that's charged up as well. So I'll charge the crystals up in that healing box as well, George. Yes, definitely. So did you save me a donut, George? Have you been eating them all? Have you been getting away with being spoiled? Hello, Jessica. Hello, Barry. During meditation, you have had spirits through me on the arm, and you noticed it. It's not scared you at all, yeah? Sometimes as well, you can ask spirits just to hold your hand as well, or even just lift a couple of your fingers, and they will. If you're tuned in and you're relaxed, they will work with you in very mysterious ways as well. Hi, George. Yeah, it looks like here she is, Bianca, now. So I'm not missing anybody out. I'm just going to bring it into the studio.
Hi.
Good evening. You all right?
How are you?
I'm okay, my darling. How are you? How's things?
I'm amazing. Thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. It's just welcome to Gary Field's Uncensored, which is GF Uncensored. It just means the odd random question can pop up on the evening. But do you want to introduce yourself to our lovely guest and audience that's watching?
Yes, I am. So I am Bianca. I am 32. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, in the United States. So hello to all of you guys in the UK.
Yeah, we'll also go out in Canada and the USA as well.
Yes. My girl Jennifer is out there. So hey, Big shout out to my friend Jen. But yeah, so I'm a medium. I contact spirit. I do it through meditation. I do divination through tarot cards. I use pendulums. And sometimes spirit just comes to me and kind of taps me on the shoulder and gives me a message. So I kind of get messages different ways. The other day, I got a smell of fried chicken before my cousin's memorial service. And I told my cousin, I go, well, I'm pretty sure we're going to be having some form of chicken at, her repast. And sure enough, we did have chicken at the repast. So I was picking up on that, Claire, as well. So there's a lot of, this is new to me. So excuse me, but there's a lot of ways that I communicate with spirit. I have been doing this since I was a baby. I remember being born, believe it or not. But I remember first being contacted by spirit when I was about 2 years old. And it was by my aunt who had already passed before I was born. And I just remember her coming into my room and just kind of dancing with me and smiling very beautifully. And, as best I could, I told my mom. Okay, so my mom is like, oh my God, she's like freaked out. So of course, it made me a little bit scared. I didn't know that it wasn't normal. So as I grew up, I did begin to become a little bit afraid of my gift myself, because I'm like, okay, is there something wrong with me? Why are they contacting me? And so I did kind of like shun my gift a little bit. I was afraid of it. And then, if you're a spiritual person, you know that when this is your calling, there is no running from it. So it was only so much running that I could do before I had to tap into my gift. And so what I typically say is like my greatest fear opened me up to my biggest gift. And so for that, I am thankful.
We touched on pendulums a couple of minutes ago, why we touched on some pendulums and that. How did you find it, the original at the start of it, where I told my mum? Do you feel like that's the hard part, is actually breaking that information down to say, I need to share this, I need to get somebody's help and divine guidance to say, I'm putting my hand up, what's going on? How did you feel about that period?
So that period, like I said, I was literally a toddler. So it was just like, going to your parent and telling your parent that, you made them a heart or whatever. So it was like just a normal conversation. Like I said, after that, I had another profound incident when I was 6. I did mention that. And that's when I was like, okay, something is really wrong here. This probably shouldn't be happening. So I did kind of just coast through it. But in my teenage years, it was really my friends who had the same spiritual gifts as me that I was able to resonate with and like talk to and vent with. But it really wasn't any like adults or anything like that to really guide me. I didn't really get that type of guidance until I became an adult myself. But during my teenage years, it was really like my friend Heather. I'll give a shout out to her. Hi, guys.
There's loads of people tuning in now for you, saying hello, Bianca.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, guys.
And our lovely George there as well.
Yeah, so it was really my friends that, like I said, basically shared the same experiences. So it really wasn't awkward speaking to my friends about it, but to other people who were not tapped into that energy, it was very, very awkward and uncomfortable. I'll say that.
And again, do you want to enlighten us? How did you find it going through the teenagers type of session? Like when you're busy and being a teenager is fine, and then I always find that that's an area that your gut intuition's talking to you all the time, and you're being put on your path as well, but you're getting bombarded as well. I always find that was a very, very testing time, the teenager years, with dealing with it.
For me, it was. I was being bombarded, and it was very confusing, and I was scared. I was scared. I was afraid. I'm like, I don't know what I'm being contacted by. I don't know what they want from me. I don't know if this is something I can let in. I don't have anybody to really talk to really, guide me and, give me information. So I'm kind of like following the cookie crumbs is what I always say. It's like just following the cookie crumbs. having those little intuitive nudges that's like one day randomly just go get sage. You need sage. And then now you're looking up like, well, what does sage do? And, what am I supposed to do with sage? And the next thing you know, you're walking through your house and you're wafting and you're chanting. And that's literally how it started happening to me. And then I was guided to, go and get like a talisman for a protection and to charge my energy into it and things like that. And I'm just literally Googling my way through what the heck I'm supposed to be doing right now until I really got comfortable, until I really built that rapport with my spirit guides, with my ancestors, to be able to directly go to them and say, what should I be doing? What do I need to know? But the teenage years was definitely very trying. It was being bombarded for me, definitely.
Like it is amazing. Do you get out there and find in Chicago as well? Tell us a bit more about your hometown and how do you find Chicago?
Well, I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
So I've been here all my life. Chicago is a beautiful city. It's absolutely amazing here. When I was younger, it was a little bit better in terms of you can go out and you can play and be yourself. Now, as of right now, the state that Chicago is in, I would consider it very low vibrational. And there's a lot of violence that goes on here. This is not a place that you should come and just visit as of right now. It's a lot of violence, a lot of killing, shooting. And I really know that it is in regards to energy. Energy's moving, people vibrating on a low frequency, and that those energies, are just able to latch on and kind of just have their way. So that's what we're dealing with. But I've been born here. I love it here. I am looking to move maybe more West Coast towards like California, but this is my hometown. I will never leave my hometown, but it is in a state of emergency. So sometimes I do kind of go around, look with my sage, or sometimes I just send good positive vibrations, good light. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of. We got excellent food here. We got the best pizza. Okay, we have the best pizza, Italian Fiesta. Okay, or what's another good one? Giordano's. Okay, I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
Well, no, I haven't heard of that one. Also, as well, as you're touching back onto when you was a teenager and you're stepping forward, what we're trying to explain and cover to people that might not see spirits is sometimes you can hear them, sometimes you can see people's auras and energies, and sometimes you can see spirits. It's like I always say, being in a bus stop and someone's touching you on the shoulder to get your attention as well. So that's a little way I'm trying to describe of what you notice of what's going on in and around you. Do you work in a specific way? Do you ask like males to come from the right-hand side to communicate with you, or females, or do you just work directly to the spirits come in from behind, or what way works best for you?
Yeah, so when I first did start experiencing it, I was seeing them physically, as if I'm seeing you right here, right now, and I could hear them. I now have to work on my being able to physically see them the way that I was able to when I was a child, when I was younger. But there are times where they will reveal themselves to me. There was a time when I was in Louisiana, just March of last year. I was in Louisiana and I had a guy walk across in front of my car, and I went to stop and he's not there. And my cousin sitting next to me is like, what was that? What are you doing? And I'm like, you didn't just see that guy just ran across the street in front of the car. And he goes, no, you're tripping. Right. So I'm like, he's like, nah, this is you and that witchy, that witchy crap. Right. So I'm like, no, this is really real. So it's times where that will happen. Other things where I will, I'll place something down and this moves. Other times I get that more clear audience. So where I'll hear them call my name, or I'll get that ringing. That's another thing that really started to happen when I really started to develop, was I really started to get that ringing in my right ear. And then going to the doctor and they're like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with you. And kind of Googling that and knowing, oh, this has something to do with vibrations and frequencies and upgrading and things like that. So I'm like, okay, but those were the things that happened to me, is definitely the ringing in the ears. I would get like headaches, a lot of headaches when that crown chakra was opening up, and then I could see things more. And I always thought that opening up your third eye, I was going to see like crazy colors and like psychedelic things. So I always tell people, like, you might and you might not, but that doesn't mean that you're not seeing what you think you're seeing. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I find a lot of people that I come in and around with, or I try and help with development or push them in the right direction for groups and understanding of that, is if they do like a Reiki treatment or have a Reiki treatment, they might see different colors the way that we see them, away from doing healing and stuff like that as well.
yes.
So it's trying to get to where then people are on the benchmark of their ladder in and around the spiritual growth within people that you come across every day, walk of life. So trying to explain that and keeping it realistically down the line, it's like go to a circle or go to your local church or go in and around your local development groups and all that. Do you do any development yourself?
I just, like I said, I do Reiki on myself. So I started to, you know, open up my chakras and things like that. But everything that I know, and I don't mean to sound a type of way, but literally everything that I do know, that I do practice, was self-taught. Like, I didn't have that mentor. I didn't go to groups. I did once go to a Kundalini meditation. And so I did that, but I only did that one time. I kind of took what I took from it and worked in solitude. But I just did my research online, because again, this type of thing is not really accepted by a lot of people. So you can't just really walk up on a person like, hey, do you see auras? And they're going to be like, what are you talking about? You know? So for me, it's kind of hard to explain to a person what they need to do. I tell them more so what they need to look out for, like the signs, the synchronicities, the sing 1111, the 444s, that's kind of giving you your cookie crumbs and letting you know that you're being awakened to something greater, and to really trust your intuition. Like I said, the ringing of the ears, the headaches. I had that heart chakra situation going on, but other than that, that's kind of out of my area to be like, yeah, this is what you need to, because I know that it's different for everybody. And so I don't want to take my own personal experience and say, this is what you should be experiencing. I can only give them little bits and clues of what I, you know, experience, and maybe it might resonate with them, and then we can go from there.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's that time and place. I always find there's a right time and place where spirits are trying to connect with you for one topic or subject or specific thing they want to communicate with. It's like I can be driving down the road and I'll look out the corner of my eyes and driving, and I'll get a gentleman in Victorian outfit and he's just tapping his head as well, just to say hello. And it's just amazing when you're seeing that as well. And understanding it. It's just right. Okay, it's not the right time and place, and that chap might come back to you in a couple of days' time. And that usually happens within a week or two. That usually ties in of why he's in and around as well. So that happened a few weeks ago, and the gentleman was just as if to say, not read a book, but look into this film and the subject and the topic. And then it came about, I think it was on a news headline with an anniversary or something like that. And it's just bizarre. And that was like 100-year difference, but it was linked to the building. So that building was in the local newspaper, or they were going to alter it or convert it to flats and stuff like that. So that just tied in with the little things like that. And it's really amazing how they've got a spiritual link of letting you know that this is going to be coming up and coming forward. Have you had any just mind-blowing experiences where that type of link and connection just made you the wow factor, I always call it?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Like, I'll be driving. Like, one day I had to go for a breast biopsy. I had been, you know, I had found some lumps in my breast and I had to get them, you know, biopsied and things like that. So I had been worrying myself sick. Like, I just hope and pray that I'm okay. And I just kept saying, Spirit, I just need you to give me a sign that I'm okay. I need you to give me a sign. And I mean, they sent me a million signs. I said, show me the color green if I'm going to be okay. I'll play little games like that with Spirit, right? I'll ask them for anything. I say, show me the color green if I'm going to be okay. And they showed me not only the color green, but the word green on a really, really big billboard. And on the side of that billboard, like as I drove a little bit further, it was a cloud literally in the formation of an angel. And I took that picture. When I pulled out of my work to go to the breast biopsy, it was 1:11 p.m. So these are all like synchronicities and things like that where I'm just like, wow. I was just doing a reading earlier on my twin flame journey, and I'm just kind of piecing things together of what's happening. What do I need to know? Do I need to protect myself and things like this? And they're just revealing things to me back to back, how I need to take a spiritual bath. But the way that they're revealing these things to me in the cards was just absolutely amazing. And I'm just like, you guys are super freaking creative. This is just like, they never cease to amaze me. I'll say that.
Oh, it's just, it is just unbelievable as well. And the signs and the symbols that we see as well along the way and along the journey. And, you know, I have just had a week off from my Monday to Friday job. I've just had a week off.
Okay.
And yeah, and this morning I just feel so overpowered with uplifting energy. It's just amazing that you've recharged as well. So sometimes we do have to recharge as well. I'm just going to make a note there, Bianca, as well. There's do not respond to anybody on these links as well, folks. They will be scammers from usually South Africa. So we will not ask anyone to click on any links unless we put them on.
Got it.
But please do not click onto any of these links as well.
Yeah, I'm super familiar with that. They spam my page too.
And the moderators will get onto that for us, and please block them and delete them. Yeah, all good. Just trying to think where we should go now. What have you got planned for the future? How do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Well, I definitely want to be a life coach, a motivational speaker, something of that sort, really just incorporating spirit, really like enlightening people and, you know, to the journey, to their own ancestors, awakening to their own spiritual, you know, their own spirituality and pretty much what you're doing. And it's just like on a larger platform, I really see myself talking to masses of people and just really enlightening a lot of people. I save my angel numbers. I, you know, screenshot them all the time. I save them. I have probably 30 minutes worth of just straight angel numbers that could just go on a slide, probably about 30 minutes to an hour, and just explaining that. So I'm already like starting to build these things, you know, just really doing a lot of healing. I really want to live the vibration of the world. So that's why I'm like, I really need to be in a predicament where I can talk to masses of people at a time and kind of drop that knowledge and shed that light on these people and move on to the next, traveling or doing whatever, still doing my readings and things like that, still giving messages from spirit. That is never going to change. Maybe even incorporating Reiki, becoming like a Reiki master, doing it on other people, you know, healing, you know, past life situations and things like that, really stuck energy, deep rooted energy. I tend to deal with clients that need to release something or let something go. So those are typically the type of clients that I attract, not all the time, but that's typically what I specialize in. So something where people can have a safe haven and, you know, let their guard down and release things that they've been holding on to. And I also want to create a safe haven for domestic violence or battered women and recovering drug addicts or alcoholics. So,
yeah, so it's always nice in our field that we support certain charities and all that as you're going along on the path as well, because the spiritual side of it, when you receive as well, it's nice to give back, and that's the way that we always work as well. We are here for everybody as well. Touching on again where you mentioned past lives, do you know anything from your past lives? But also, before you answer that question, when you mentioned about giving speeches and talking out, I could see a platform where, you know, you got both hands on side of like a rostrum. I could see your hands on, and you mentioned talking to audiences. I could see this rostrum as if you were standing on a platform talking.
Yes.
So I was given that visually as I see cine film sometimes.
Okay.
So have you had anything in relations with past life and your soul, in anything that you've done before for yourself, meditations, anything from the last centuries or anything, or decades?
Yeah, so I actually did meditation, like a regression. I did learn that this is my 36th incarnation here in this lifetime. I don't know if like that's a good or a bad thing. I don't know if I'm lacking or if I'm like way ahead of my game. I don't know. I know that in one of my lifetimes, I had like 4 children. I was married. Um, and in another lifetime, which kind of tied into the lifetime with the 4 children, I had my own business. It was like a small business, kind of what I'm doing now. Um, and but I had to abandon that business. I had to like literally up and just upheaval, run away from it, because of persecution or judgment. So more than likely, I was doing some witchcraft or some divination or something that was, frowned upon or whatever. And so I had to basically abandon that life. And during the time that I did this meditation, that I stumbled upon this information about, that I had to abandon this life, I had been dealing with abandonment issues. And I had been like really putting my finger on it, like, no, this is coming from abandonment. This has to be something rooted in my past life. I need to really figure out where it's coming from. And so to know that I had to basically give up my life, I'm like, this makes perfect sense with what I'm feeling now. Also, Jennifer had told me that there was a baby boy that was waiting to be reincarnated in this lifetime. And in the lifetime that I had the 4 children, I had a baby boy that was my firstborn, and he was my pride and joy. And even right now, I have a daughter, and I am literally like craving for a boy. So all of these things does resonate and has been confirmed and tied into my past lives and things like that. But I didn't do any more. Like I didn't there. Like I do want to delve into it a little bit more, learn a little bit more about my different past lives. But that's pretty much as of right now how far I've gotten.
It is outstanding how things tie in with all that, and as well, and your strong gut intuition to that, sensations of the daughter side of it coming along as well. And
yes,
it's just to receive this energy and this connection and the link that's going on as well. It does leave. I think it just leaves you speechless as well, especially when
speechless. Yes, I always say, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I always say, this is the best journey I have ever. Like, this is the best choice, if you will. It's just the best thing that has ever happened to me in my life. As a child, I used to always feel so unlucky. I used to always feel like, if I go to a birthday party, I'm the one that doesn't win the prize, or, I don't win the lottery or whatever. I just always felt very unlucky. But being chosen to be on this journey, it's like nothing ever, no amount of money, no materialistic thing could ever compare to me walking this path and walking my truth and expressing my gift to heal other people. It's just the best. It's just absolutely amazing. I don't know what happened if we lost him. If I'm still here, hey, I'll take over.
It's playing up tonight, certainly.
Oh. Okay.
Right. Okay. Sorry about that. Don't know where that all went. That link that went. Right. I think we've lost everyone there. They're coming jumping back on now, so it must be connecting back up.
Okay.
We did have a few power surges the other week as well. So I don't know whether there's a bit of power surge going on or whatever's going on with the old equipment.
Okay.
How would you explain your experiences that you couldn't describe, or have you had certain situations where you couldn't explain your experiences of, or don't know quite what's going on there, and I don't understand what's going on here?
Yeah, definitely. I would say at first it was with my twin flame journey. Meeting him, dating him, and then being in that separation, being in that void, but having this unexplainable pull towards this person, just this draw towards this person, always reuniting with this person, even when we were trying to have other connections with other people. And then getting, more on the spiritual path. And I would always say, I know that me and this person is meant to be together. I just don't know how to explain what I feel, or the energy maybe that I'm picking up on with this person. But as I became more spiritually aware of that energy, I'm like, okay, none of his relationships ever work out. None of my relationships ever work out. We're always drawn to each other. And again, just doing my research and following those cookie crumbs, spirit led me to know and understand that I was a twin flame. I was a divine feminine, that, and it's still things that I'm learning in regards. It's still things that I'm just like, wait a minute, I'm so stumped. I have no clue. What are you telling me? What are you showing me? But that was one of the most things that was very, very unexplainable. But I knew that it was something bigger than me. It was something bigger than him. I couldn't see it. I could feel it. I couldn't explain it, but I knew it. And that was one of the times that I really, really experienced that. And even like I said, when spirit would contact me and they would reach out to me, and I know I just set my remote here and it's gone, and I'm home alone, and I know I'm not, and I didn't hear anything, and I don't feel afraid, which typically I do when I know that I'm being joined with a spirit. So what the heck is going on here? And just over time, it just began to reveal itself. But that was once I began to be more spiritually aware.
Yeah, it's just I just love everything in and around it as well. I have asked for people to put some questions on. It looks like everyone's dropped out because of that power surge as well. Okay. So we'll keep going and people can catch up because it will be on YouTube as well. So sorry about any technical problems there, but again, I think the energies are playing up as usual.
It's okay.
Where are you drawn to in and around that you'd like to visit spiritually? You mentioned the West Coast and all that. Is there anywhere in specific that you'd like to go along to and venture off to and experience that side of the coast, or anywhere around the UK or anywhere?
Well, I am drawn to Australia.
Yeah.
I am drawn there, but I know for a fact that I lived in California in one of my past lives. I know it. So I'm definitely drawn there, but it's something also about Australia, Brisbane, that I like, that I'm drawn to, that I want to, I also want to see the Northern Lights. I'm really, really like fascinated with that. It's just super amazing. Like how everything, like, I don't know. This is one of those moments where it's like unexplainable, right? It's like the Northern Lights is so beautiful. So that's a place that I am drawn to, Australia. My place, Barcelona.
Been there about 4 times.
Oh, really? I have to go. I have to go. And I really want to experience the Maldives or like Dubai, one of those.
Oh, right.
Thailand too. Yeah.
I've been to Thailand.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm jealous.
It's certainly amazing there.
Yeah, you love it.
And I actually brought back a Buddha there from 2005, 2006 period. I brought a little Buddha. So wow. I'm still waiting for him to do his little magic of why he said pick me. So
right. Oh wow.
So you get drawn to things spiritually as well, don't you? Along the way of collecting, some people crystals and a crystal ball, and obviously we use the pendulums and all that as well, and a little bit of a safety net sometimes. I find of when we can be a bit tired or we're dropping off with any energy, we will relate to that type of stuff and we'll pick up on, all right, I'll go to this pack of cards. And then they will give you that guidance, or you'll get your answers off different objects and things around you as well.
Exactly.
How do you just go to your cards more, or do you go to your pendulum? Or
I definitely go to my cards more. And it's like if I really just have something quick that I just need, really quick, I'll go to my pendulum. But if I need something more in depth, which I'm a Virgo with a Scorpio moon and rising, so I need all the information and things that I can get. So I will typically go to my cards. Yeah. And just like you said, how different, you'll be drawn to different energies. Different card decks have different energies, so you'll be drawn to those different energies. Like here, I'm sitting here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decks in front of me, all with different energies. Here, I have a deck here with more darker energy, and a deck here with more lighter messages here, you know, and then some traditional tarots and things like that. But yeah.
And you also find as well with the lighter energy as well, different times of the year as well, you will get drawn to different decks of the cards as well. Like I'll go to the witches cards more towards the autumn, and when they're more stronger of, you know, the pagan side of that work seems to be stronger around them cards around September onwards. I'm just trying to think as well on the cards as well. What was your first ever pack of cards? Were they just normal tarot?
Normal tarot, the traditional Rider-Waite. That was my very first. That was my very first tarot deck. But my very first ever card-related oracle anything was Keepers of the Light by Kyle Gray.
Right.
Yes, that was my go-to.
The old mythical tarot cards as well, they can be quite hard to understand. There seems to be, you can get really century old cards and on the modern versions of them, but some of the older cards I find where people are trying to start on their path, they'll look at a set of tarot cards and they'll try and really work with harder decks of cards, I find sometimes. And it's not for me to say put them down, it's for me to say try another pack, and then as you're building on, you can go and relate to that pack later on your journey. So sometimes they can pick a pack of cards that they think is for now, but it might be for 2 or 3 years down the line. But it's so hard to give that judgment and say, put them to one side for now. They'll come in handy for another day, because they just bought them and they want to work with them. But some cards are really hard to start with. I find
especially and it's like, especially when you're starting out, you already don't know, you know, and you don't have the traditional, you know, things to kind of go by. Like this is being the 10 of Pentacles in a different, you know, in a different deck, looks nothing like the traditional, you know, 10 of Pentacles and things like that. And these different creators of these decks are brilliant, you know, and when you get more experience, it does really help to have that wider variety of different cards and different images and things like that. But starting out, I always say we'll start with the traditional Rider-Waite, keep it simple, start there, because that's where you're gonna learn. And then, like I said, these are the cards more so when you really want to incorporate your intuition with them, with not just reading with the meanings, but when you want to use your intuition, you want to use the colors, maybe you want to incorporate numerology, because I also use the colors of the, you know, the chakras and things like that. So, you know, looking at this card, this is pretty much a lot of blue in here, so this will more than likely be related to the throat chakra, you know, things like that. But that comes with experience, I'd say.
And also as well, like, so in a normal pack of tarot cards, when I get lighter cards, the energy seems to be things are lifting up a bit and a little bit of weight's coming off themselves as well. Just trying to think, do you ever get out on any investigations or anything like that, or you just...
I'm actually being called to, and it's really, really crazy. And this is what I'm saying with the spiritual journey. This is how spirit works, because there is a situation where one of our male ladies went missing.
I've just got to stop you there, because I've just written that word down.
Male? Okay, shit. Okay, so that's my confirmation. Okay, because I've been thinking, I'm thinking about maybe, because I'm super, super drawn also to forensics. I have been watching murder mysteries and things like that.
Gonna stop you there. Stop you there. I've written down gangster.
Oh shit.
Not yourself, but to be in
yeah, definitely. And that's really what I'm drawn to. So it's hella crazy that you said that, because Now I know, because I said, I want to do, as a child, I always wanted to be either a doctor or a forensic scientist. But being called to this spiritual journey, I said, well, I know I have to work with spirit. So what can I do to incorporate that? And I have lately literally been looking into this case with this mail lady. She went missing, and I was working, with our postal service at the time that she went missing. And I almost felt kind of obligated to help out, but I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. I'm not sure. But this is kind of how spirit goes. Yeah, you're ready. Here you go. There's your confirmation. So yeah.
Okay, Karen saying people are asking questions. I can't actually see the comments on here at the moment, even though I'm clicked onto the comments section. So we have had the power surge as well.
Yeah, so, I can't see either.
Yeah, so Karen, I don't know whether you could type them up for us, or anybody in moderators can type any of the questions up. I can't actually see them at the moment, so I'm not too sure what's gone on there as well. So again, when you first come onto the live, I written gangsters down then, but I feel that was with the link of Chicago, so I'm always honest and I'm always open as well.
Of course.
But again, when the mail come in and we were talking about the mail, I think that's the circle and the connection where 47 minutes in, that makes a little bit of a tie-in and a connection for you as well. So
also too, I do have a connection to a celebrity that has passed. His name is Pop Smoke. He is a gangster rapper. And he is always around me, with me, a lot. So
does he carry a thumb in the top of his pocket or on a hip belt?
He has done that. He has done that.
Yeah, all right. He's not talking or communicating with now. It's like I feel like he's just rubbing his thumb on top of his belt or on the inside of his waistcoat or his waist hip on his pants or something. He's just like doing that. Is he?
Can you see like how he looks or anything
no?
Like that?
My guide and my team are telling me he's doing this because I'm just picking up on the energies around yourself.
Yeah.
His mannerisms and his emotions is what I'm picking up on. So I'm not seeing him directly, but that's what my team's telling me about intuitively.
Yeah, he is. He's a gangster. He's so hood. Yeah, he is. He's from New York, Brooklyn.
And I'm just trying to think. I'm getting there around about the age of 37 as well. I'm seeing as well is very dominant. 37.
I'm sorry. Go again.
The number 37 is very prominent as well at the moment as well.
Well, okay. 37.
Right. Okay. The comments are coming back on now. Carry on.
Okay. So 37 for me, I tend to, if I see a number, sometimes I tend to reduce it down. So I would add those two, and that's 10. That is a number that me and him have in common. Me and Pop Smoke, his name is Bashar. That's a number that me and him have in common. If something else comes up, because sometimes that's how spirit works. It's like I'll get a like I can't call it now, but it'll come to me later. Then I will message you or come back on here and say what that also meant.
That's fine. Claire's just clicked in. She's a viewer from over this side, and she was just saying Pop Smoke. She's seeing smoke around the gentleman, still doing his thing, but listening to Bianca. So he's still doing what he's doing in spirit, but he's still listening to you.
Okay.
So that's just, it is mind-blowing. Please ask questions, folks. We'll try and get them in the last 10 minutes because I did lose all the comments.
It looks like Michael was asking, what is a twin flame journey, please?
All right, just going to go up. Twin flame journey. So when you was talking earlier on about the twin flame.
Yeah.
You said that's it there. So twin. I mean, to me, sometimes people will say, have you ever seen a double ganger?
Yeah.
Somebody looks quite like it. I mean, if you go to like a theme park or something, you think, no,
right.
And it's in the distance. So anything around the flame journey, a twin flame journey person, I would presume that is.
So what I could typically get is most people think, soulmates. So it's think of a soulmate. We have a lot of different soulmates, right? We can have 50,000 plus soulmates or whatever. A twin flame, from what I know, is you only have one twin flame, and it's that not every person is a twin flame. Twin flame journey consists of a divine masculine and a divine feminine, and those are divine counterparts. Most times people think that the twin flame journey is like, okay, so that's the love of the love of the love. It's bliss. It's this beautiful thing. And it's like, yes, it can be, but it is the most complicated relationship and connection that you will have with the person, because you are clearing out past life karma, doing a lot of healing work. So this is a person that you have been with in past lives, that you have gone through these very same lessons in past lives. And so now you come together and you found each other again to do more healing work. A lot of people think that you meet your twin flame, you fall in love, you get married, you have your children, and that's it. No, most times you meet your twin flame, it ignites something within your soul. You might date that person for a few, but then most twins go into what we call separation, twin flame separation, where we go off to date karmic partners. So those are partners that teach us more harsher lessons, to teach us self-worth and how to love ourselves and about red flags and things like that. And then when we do our healing work and we do our shadow work, then the twins are healed enough and they're in alignment and they can come back together. And when the twins come together, it raises the vibration of the world, kind of sends like this mass healing. Currently, right now, we do have a collective of twin flames coming into union pretty soon. I've been channeling around springtime. So if you are a twin, or that you are a twin and you have been in separation with your twin, know that twin flame union is coming. There are hella links on YouTube, on Facebook. I think there's some groups on Facebook, and also Google is going to be your best friend. We're learning about the twin flame journey. There's books that you can buy on Amazon. It's really endless, but it's a very, very deep journey, and a lot of it is used as a catalyst for your own healing. Some twins never come into union. Some twins have been working over lifetimes to try to come into union. But it's just more work you got to do. So it's really more so about work, healing, becoming your best true self than it is about love. That's just like the icing on the cake, right? Is to be with your divine counterpart, to be with, the person who is basically you. But you got to do the work to get there. And it's a lot of, it's the dark and the light. It's duality, but it's
a little bit like the yin and the yang as well, isn't it?
It is. That's exactly what it is.
Tested on that. I mean, my dad's a twin. Now, if I put so many people in a room, nobody would pick his twin sister, who he was linked with, because it's just totally the opposite. Do you know what I mean? From how my parents is to how my auntie is, basically. It's just totally unbelievable, that side of it. And it's like the total opposite of the scale, not in a positive and a negative, but you would just not think that there was any type of connection there. It's so far away.
It's so far away. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've known a few friends that lived on this plane, live in that present, and they've been as a twin, and their twin hasn't lived. So the second child, I've known a couple of people, and they've really struggled to come to terms with that. And I've always found that that's the link, that they've not been able to reconnect and communicate with that lost twin.
Yeah.
Because that soul's gone of that other twin, but they still feel that they're blaming themselves in and around the spiritual side of it, that they can sense their twin that's not here. And then sometimes they're trying to outreach so far that they get frustrated as well. So I have come across a few people, and I've just gone straight away a couple of times. Oh, your mum lost a twin, and you survived, and the other person hasn't. And sometimes you see it, and some people don't want to talk about it then, and then some people get reserved.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any situations where you either see someone's soul or the past life or things like that all tying in, and you're like, I can tell you certain things, but you've got to ask me the right question first.
Yeah, well, I did have one incident, and it wasn't a very pleasant one, where I was able to see this person's soul. Past lives, that it kind of happens sporadically. Sometimes it kind of happens in mid conversation. Like, I'm not trying to read them or anything. It's like we're just having a normal conversation. It'd be like a flash, so I'll see that. I'll give them that bit of information. But it was one time where I was able to see a person's soul, and that is that's something that I don't really talk about too often. It was very, very off-putting, very, very murky, very dark aura, distorted, very demonic almost. And then to hear him make it downstairs, because we were passing each other in the hallway, to hear him make it downstairs and tell someone that he was possessed. He told the person that he was possessed. And the person kind of chuckled, laughed it off. And I absolutely knew. I said, no, he's like dead serious. Like, because that's literally what it read. It looked like maybe somebody had been dealing with some sort of like black magic or some sort, or maybe he had gotten a spiritual attachment and it had really drained him as a host. So there was literally like nothing left. That's, yeah.
And also as well, that's covered Libby's question there, because that came on a bit earlier, but obviously I'd lost the comments as well. So we touched a little bit on that as well. Also, Claire saying that she can, Libby's saying that she can actually see how much you love it, enjoy doing what you're doing as well.
Yes.
So it's just amazing. And Claire was asking, we've touched on this a little bit, of places that you're drawn to in the UK.
I said I want to come there, but there's no specific place that I would have to tell her I'll get back to her on that one. There's no specific place, but I do want to visit the United Kingdom. I do.
Right, okay.
I live for you guys' accents. I will give you that. I love it. I love it.
Claire is actually in Liverpool. I'm about 35 minutes from Liverpool, and I mean, I know everyone loves the Beatles and all that, but it's just magical times.
Yeah.
The only thing we haven't really touched on, I think, in the last hour or so is basically from your 20s up to your present days. How have you felt that development side of yourself the last decade?
Absolutely beautiful. The shift is beautiful. I say it all the time. I love the woman I'm becoming. I see how I was previously. I see, like, when I talked about being afraid of spirit, being afraid of being contacted by them, to now being like, oh, that's just spirit. They're just in there, doing their thing, or they're just, communicating to me or whatever. And things that I used to respond to, maybe negative things that I used to respond to, I'm more, centered. I'm more awakened now. It's just, I understand things on a different level. I have a different perspective. I have so much respect for this journey, so much love for this journey, and really so much love for everyone else. Even if people don't like what I do, or they don't like me, or they don't resonate with me, or whatever, I still just have a universal love to everyone, a universal connectedness to everyone, And so seeing this shift between my 20s and my 30s, I'm doing a lot more. I'm working with my ancestors, my spirit guides. I'm doing, spells and rituals, and up during the witching hour. And those are things that I was afraid of, before. It's just beautiful. The growth is beautiful. I definitely see it. I literally had to sit and cry the other day, because I go, I see it. I see the growth, and it's so beautiful. And I'm so thankful. I just had to have that moment of just gratitude, and it just brought me to tears.
And I always find as well, trying to explain to people when I'm helping them with certain development classes as well, it's like, if you're in like a 5-year bracket, or you might be in a 7-year bracket, you're going towards that. So if you're getting frustrated in a year or two to the bracket you're in now, it ties in as you're moving over the next year or two towards that 5-year bracket spell, or a 7-year bracket spell, or a decade or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's getting to understand of where they're up to and what they're after. But I do see a lot of frustrations around people where they are that eager that they want to learn, but yourself, spirits will only give certain things at certain times. Yep. And for them to query, ask the questions. Why am I only getting this at this present moment in time? And it's just it's like a little chapter or a piece of the pie or the pizza.
Right.
Yeah, so you only
It's
get
like
them
it's a part of the
statements.
process. It's like
Yeah,
trust the process. It's like it can't just come overnight if you're not ready. I literally just made a post about that the other day. I said, here I was, as you can see, I have 2 nails on my hand, right? And I was just sitting here like, I want to get the nails off. I'm just trying to rip them. I'm trying to force it, right? Same thing. I'm like, and spirit came through and it's like, that's the message. You can try to force it all you want to. You're only going to damage and hurt yourself, right? When it's not time, it's not time. And it's okay. So if we're wanting our spiritual gifts, or we're saying, well, why do I only have access to this right now? Because it's not time. And spirit does not want you to fail. So if you are not ready yet, they're not going to tap you on the shoulder and put you in the game or show you certain things that you're not ready for. So they will wait until you've developed a little bit more. You've conditioned, you've practiced, you've learned to now, okay, now we can turn the page to this chapter. Now you can see a little bit more. And it keeps going. It's literally like a paper trail. It's like cookie crumbs. It's like, okay, now here's the next step. And now here's the next step and the next step. But everything is being revealed, covered up. You're only going to get to see the next 40 feet, the next 40 feet, the next 40 feet. You don't need to see the entire destination, the entire journey. You only need to see what's ahead of you. Just a little bit, just a little bit.
Most definitely. And a lot of people are asking here where they can contact you or connect with you, or any projects you've got going. And I know you do the intuitive B. Tell us a little bit more about that. Tell us more about that, where people can get hold of you and everything you do.
Yes. So the Intuitive Bee is my platform. That's where I do my readings. I go live there. You can ask me any questions, any concerns. If you want to know more about, the twin flame journey or medium abilities or whatever, you can reach me there at the Intuitive Bee. If you're unable to find that on Facebook, you can type in the search bar on Facebook at Spiritual Readings 111. And then my page should pop up, the Intuitive Bee. I also do have a website. It is www.theintuitivebee111.com.
Excellent, thank you. Also, as well, back to a question there. When I'm doing development classes, Claire always gets nervous. When she finally started seeing her eyes, it really shocked her. The soldier and a letter, obviously, because we receive so much that it's like it's unbelievable how it ties in. That might have been with a little bit of automatic writing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when people do see, it's just a massive thumbs up to say well done and continue and carry on as well, and that's their next stage then, isn't it? So sometimes they might take a little bit of time out, but then again, they'll jump ahead when the right time's ready.
It's gonna come. And there will be no denying it.
And our lovely Jennifer's saying, tell us the story about the picture of your house. You sent me with the little boy you ended up going to.
Yes. So I sent Jennifer a picture of this. I had been on Facebook and it was on a realtor's website. And so I clicked on it. I'm like, let me check this house out. It's in the city. It's in a not so good neighborhood. Let me see what it looks like on the inside. And so I go and I'm looking through the pictures and, they've completely remodeled the house to the typical eye. It looked like a beautiful house. But upstairs, I could see all types of blood literally everywhere, all over the walls, all soaked into the carpet, everything. And I'm like, now I know I'm not tweaking. I know I'm not freaking out. Let me send this to Jen to see if she sees what I see. So I sent it to Jen. Jen goes, yeah, absolutely. Is like something happened in this house. And I'm like, yeah, it's like multiple people. Turns out I Googled the house and it was a mass murder in the house. It was like 5 people, an entire family got killed in the house. And she was able to see the little boy standing on the stairs. And I said, yeah. And so I went over to the house. I drove over to the house. I was able to pick up on the energy. It was upstairs, missing floor. It was definitely upstairs. The floor wasn't missing. It had, it had been redone. So it had carpet there and everything, but it was bloodshed. It was a bloodbath in there. And so I went to the physical location of the house. And I was standing on the side of the house, and I picked up this energy, and I just began to like cry. I couldn't breathe. My breathing pattern got very, very heavy. And I was just like, Jen, I'm like, I have to cross him over, because I also do that type of work as well. I'm like, his soul is stuck in this house, and I can feel it. I can feel his despair. He's like crying out, looking for his mom. So she told me she was getting the same message, but that was so very heavy. Jen, you remember that, right? That was like, I don't know, a very, very long time ago. But I said, yeah, I'm going to cross him over. I'm going to cross him over. So I got to the house, and it just didn't happen. And he would come to me at random times. I could be taking a bath or just at a grocery store, and he would randomly come to me and be like, you forgot about me. So I went to California last year, July. And I had this incident where this spirit was there, and it needed to be crossed over. And long story short, while I had the portal open, crossing this other spirit over, I also called the little boy over and crossed him over. So I was like, oh, that feels so good to have finally got that out the way. It was like really weighing down on me. But that was, and I didn't, when I left from that house, I did not get my breathing pattern back to normal for about 45 minutes after.
Also, when you get them emotions and the mannerisms come over too strong for you, too quick, too soon, sometimes you can slow it down a little bit. But I was always trying to explain to the spirit that you can go over to the light, but you're more than welcome to come back.
I tell them that too.
In and around your own time. You're just not trapped over there when you go to the light.
Right.
You can go and come back and be part of the family, or be part of your environment that you was used to. I mean, sometimes a lot of spirit energies might not do that in them circumstances of a tragic scene and stuff like that. But you've got to put it out there to explain and get them to understand. There's still a crossing between the veil.
Yep. And so it was definitely, it was like that. I was like, okay, well, yeah, it was that. It was definitely like that. And it was too much for me. And I remember the very, very, very first time that I crossed over a spirit, I didn't know what happened. I just knew that I felt still so elevated. Even though I had closed everything out and everything was done, I still felt so elevated. And I'm like, what is going on here? And as I was reading, Google, told me everything. It was like, I was still ascended. I was still, my ethereal body was still outside of my 3D body, and I needed to ground myself. So I had to like meditate with, I think I used like black obsidian, and I went outside and I put my feet in the dirt. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm better now, because I was dizzy. I felt like I had like vertigo. I was all messed up. And so then I learned to like start protecting myself and use my, my grounding stones and things like that before I go way up that high. But that's all trial and error, things like that. Like I said, I didn't have anybody to speak to and tell me these things.
And as you're moving forward as well, do you find, do you go off astral projecting and helping in your sleep?
Well, I don't try to, but I do. That movie Insidious, if you ever seen Insidious or heard of it, it freaked me out. And so astral traveling is something that I don't willingly try to do, but I do it, and I do realize when I'm doing it. But no, it's not something that I have been guided to sit down, and my spirit guides have told me like sit down and actually try to. But the moment that I
lost the sound.
Can you hear me? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Yeah, but the moment that I do it, and right before your body, separates and you get that tingling feeling, I wake up. I'm like, all right, nope, I'm not doing it.
Right. I'm also going to say it's just coming up to an hour and 10 minutes now. And, it's been lovely connecting with you. And
absolutely.
I just love the energy of you. And I'm sorry about the power surge, but I think that was a lot of positive white light coming together. So I don't know what's gone on there. So I do apologize if anyone's missed half of the link tonight. Please refollow up on YouTube on Keep On Chatting platform. It will be on there as well. Love to catch up with you again soon in the future, and we'll catch up over the next 12 months or something, and we'll see. Are you still all in lockdown over there? Current situation?
Huh? Yeah, we're locked down. Yep, we're locked down.
Right, okay. Is there any signs of that's being lifted?
They're talking about it, but I don't see it through divination when I communicate with spirit. I don't really see it, and I don't really see, if they did, I don't really see it being safe to believe that, and let your guard down and just go out about life regularly. So yeah.
So hopefully, I think we're looking at, possibly the end of April. I'm not too sure. I haven't read any details yet. There is news coming out over the UK. So I do feel it's time that people started to see that little light at the end of the tunnel a little bit closer now. So I will send loads of love and white light over to you where you are. And
thank you.
That gentleman, Passmo, is it? Passmo or?
Pop Smoke.
Passmo. Right. Okay. Interesting chap. I feel like he's going to be doing a visit. I can feel him checking me out.
Okay. Well, any messages that he has or whatever, just let me know.
He was saying, you've shown me a normal packet of playing cards.
Okay.
And some mediums don't use with normal playing cards. He was showing me like the 7 of hearts.
Okay.
That's what he was showing me just spiritually. I don't work with normal playing cards.
Okay.
But you might get another medium that will say, "Oh, I use normal deck of cards," and then there's just something about the 7 of
will pop out. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give me a pack and start practicing or something.
But they do actually work, because that was one of my first readings. Was somebody giving me off a normal deck of cards, and they were spot on. They were so spot on. It was unbelievable. Yeah. So again, thanks for your time, and thanks for everybody for tuning in. Sorry about a little bit of loss of connection, but it does happen now and again.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Okay, pleasure. Catch up soon. Thanks for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. Love and light.
And you. Ta-ra, Bianca. Ta-ra.